deadlocks means, see, I think we are all already discussed about transactions. Okay, so here there are two transactions, T1, T2. Resources R1, R2. Okay, T1 transaction is held by resource R1 and it is making request to R2. But that is held by transaction T2 and T2 request R1 which is held by T1. Okay, so this situation is called deadlocks. Okay, that means simple definition. If a transaction requires one resource which is held by another transaction, that is called deadlock. If you face such kind of situation, then how to handle that? Okay, that we will discuss. I'm creating two tables, like I have already 3 tables are there, table 1, table 2. Trigger. I have 3 tables, so consider 2 tables only, table 1, table 2. So, table 1 is having trigger, so let me disable the trigger. Table 3 is having one more trigger. Oh, shit. So get table. I am taking 2 tables. So I'm inserting some values into that table. So check whether that has been inserted or not. Okay. Okay. So now I'm writing transaction for this. Here update table 1 set sorry. See, update table 1 and ename equal to e where serial number equal to 4. Okay. update table 2, and between this I'm giving some delay. Here it is not highlighted. Okay. Zero 05. So that means this is hours, this is minutes, and this is seconds. Hours, minutes, seconds. So it will, that means once the after execution of this command, it will hold the execution for 5 seconds. After that, it will execute second command. Okay, so this is the purpose of wait for delay. It will hold for some time. So same thing, I am taking one more query window and paste it here. Here table 2 I am taking, and here table 1. Okay, now see here what we are doing, please ignore that. Okay, what happens, please observe that. Okay, so what will be done after the execution of this query, please ignore that. Okay, so how much time it will taking, and whether this transaction will be executed successfully or not, please observe that point. Okay, after updating this, what will happen in that table, please ignore that. Okay, now see here clearly that in this transaction, first table 1 will be updated. After some delay, table 2 will be updated. Another transaction, first table 2 will be updated. Again some delay, with after that table 1 will be updated. Okay. Now I am going to execute this first one. So let us transaction T1. This one is transaction T2. Simultaneously, I am executing. See here, without error, that rows are updated. Okay, and here transaction was deadlocked on lock resources with another process. The and has been chosen as the deadlock victim. Rerun the transaction. Okay, it is showing. That means this table 2, it is held by transaction T1. It is clearly indicating that message. Okay, so another lock resources with another process. That means transaction T1 hold these two tables, because we have put these two commands in transaction. Okay, until this transaction will be executed, then so this transaction T2 will have to wait. Okay, so this is the diagram. So transaction T1 holds resource 1 and making request to resource 2, which is held by transaction T2. This is deadlock. Okay, so in this case, but here we have two transactions, but I want to give priority for transaction T2. I don't want to execute transaction T1. Okay, so I want to give priority for transaction T2. So in that case, what we have to do? Set deadlock priority. So here we have different states, like from -10 to 110, like see, low, normal, high. Okay, -10 to +10. Low is nothing but -5, normal is nothing but 0, high is nothing but 5. Okay, you can use numbers or you can use this terms also, low, high, normal. Okay, so I am giving low. See what will happen. See, first transaction will be executed successfully, and the second transaction again it was in deadlock state. Okay, and I am giving high. See here, first transaction will be in deadlock state. Second transaction will be in successful state due to this statement. Okay. So this is about, you can give 0. See what will happen. What? Shit. See, 0 means it will not consider. So T1 transaction will be executed successfully. For example, if you give 10. See, 10 also for T2 transaction, it was in deadlock state. If we give plus 10. See, T2 transaction executed successfully and T1 transaction is getting error. I mean deadlock state. Okay. So if you want to give number, you can give. Otherwise, you can write low, high like that. And see, I'm making this comment and I'm executing T1 transaction. Meanwhile, I'm writing select query. See what will happen. See, select query is executing quickly. Okay. See, I'm executing. If I execute insert query, what will happen? That too. Wait a minute. Two select queries. Okay. Now, two tables insert queries I will execute once. Making comment. So here. Sorry. Insert query also, we don't have any problem. Okay. Next, remaining update query. See here, after executing this transaction only, these update queries are allowed to execute. Okay, you can check again also. See, it is not executing. Once it is completed, then only it will execute it. Okay. Next, delete. See, delete is not allowed to execute until this transaction is completed. See. Okay, so it will hold for particular time. That means Once this transaction is executed, then only it will allow to execute. Okay, and here some transaction has some properties like atomic, consistent, isolated, durable. Okay, so what is mean by that? So atomic means transaction must execute exactly once and must be atomic. Either all of the work is done or none of it is. That means if you put some commands in transactions, then either all these commands will be executed successfully and none of this. Okay, that is atomic property. Consistent means transaction must preserve the consistency of data. Okay, so that is consistent. It will preserve the consistency of data. Isolated means the transaction must affect data without interfering with other concurrent transactions. Okay, so once this transaction is being executed, it will not allow to execute other transactions. Okay, and it will not affect by other transactions also. Okay, so that is without interfering with other concurrent transaction is called isolated. Once a change is made, it is permanent. That means once all the commands are executed successfully, that changes will be permanent. Okay, suppose this statement is executed successfully, and while executing this statement, if any error comes, then these two update statements gets rolled back. That means whatever the result was changed according to this update statement, that will be rolled back. Okay, so these are about deadlock and transaction properties.